Hey everybody, welcome to the RR Live Wellness Unfiltered podcast. My name is Robert Reames, the host and the producer of the show, and as always, I'm here to inform and inspire you, to educate you, and to motivate you so that you can take this information, put it to work in your lives, share it with your loved ones and your families. I've come a long way to have this opportunity to sit in front of you today. Let's go. Gunnar.
Yes, sir.
Man, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it, man.
It's always good to take a nice drive at the end of the week, beat the traffic.
That's right. Right down the 840, right?
Straight shot.
little traffic in there today.
I had nothing. It was great, easy, smooth.
I had a couple trucks up my rear. I think they were trying to get their stuff in before Easter weekend.
Yeah, I was smooth, and it's just like to me, all the drives here are just like real quick recalibrations.
Yeah. It's not like a 405.
No. Drive to work, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Drive home, It's just nice.
It's nice. It's
yeah,
good.
I love it.
It's good. It's good.
Not one thing I don't like about being here.
Well, man, we both ended up in Franklin. Right? How the hell did that happen?
That's so weird.
Isn't that crazy?
Because we're look at this. We're spreading the positive.
That's right.
And we sought out the positive.
Yeah, Trent and spread the positive. That's a great name for an organization. And Terry, Nashville Fit Network. Terry with Nashville Fit Magazine.
Terry's been cool since the day I met him, which was very early on here.
Right.
And I had already been to one of his events, not knowing it was his event.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and I go, God, this is cool. I wonder if they're going to grow this. I wonder if this is an annual thing. And then I went the next year with him, well, not with him, but because of him. And it was already like, it had to have doubled in size.
Yeah.
It's just boom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting is I went to do their podcast, the Nashville Fit podcast. This was in like December. And I park in there in the parking lot. And Terry comes out to greet me. And I had heard your podcast with him. And I thought Terry was you. I was like, and then he introduced himself as Terry.
There's so many ways I could read that.
No, it's a compliment. That's a compliment. But I remember telling Terry, I'm like, Gunnar? No, he says, no, I'm Terry. I'm Terry. And there was, but that was really funny because I hadn't seen you in a long time. But that was one of the reasons actually I wanted to do the show is because, you know, you did it. I listened to your podcast. I think it was with Terry and some other guy.
Yeah, it was with Terry and he has Barbell Voodoo. I use them for merchandise for our gym for sweatshirts. They make terrific sweatshirts for our gym. I'm sure they do other merch too. We haven't gotten into that. I'm not. Okay. I kind of stick to the training and
yeah. I need a merch organization here, so maybe I'll get
Barbell
that from
Voodoo.
you.
Terry, his name will pop into my head in 2 seconds. I can't think of it. Do you know it? Roy, there you go. Roy.
Okay, we'll get that after for sure.
Yeah.
So, man, let's go back to I guess kind of the beginning, not really the beginning, but how did you?
Back when TV was black and white.
Yeah. Well, we were both still alive. That's right.
Had to get up to change the channel.
That's right. That's right. And when those remotes,
what does that mean?
Yeah, the remotes came, and there came the demise of fitness in America.
There you go.
That was one of them.
Everybody's step count dropped just a few.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. But I know from what I understand, you trained at a gym at La Cienega when you first came to LA.
When I first started, I did some like. Unofficial, non-sanctioned cat and mouse training at a gym on Santa Monica Boulevard called Sports Connection. I'm sure it's still there, but
the Sports Connection.
The Sports Connection next to the Athletic Club.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't know
I don't want
that.
to say I got run out of there, but I didn't work there, so in retrospect, as somebody owning a gym.
So you were independent trainer training in Sports Connection.
Yeah, but I wasn't posing as a trainer because I wasn't official, so I would, when I needed to, I would make it look like we were working out together.
Okay.
But I was really training them anyway.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, probably not cool, but I was young and figuring it out, and it was a side hustle. And anyway, and then I was all in homes.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots of driving in LA.
Mm-hmm. Did you get those people from the Sports Connection, or how did you get them at the beginning?
From there. No, they were people talking to me about training, and then I had a terrific a chiropractor at the time named Dr. Jeffrey Rochford, who's since passed away, super gifted guy. And
I remember the name.
He sent me a lot. Yeah, he was on Wilshire and Linden in that 2-story brick medical building. And he sent me a ton of people. He was great. And I just was like in home.
Okay.
Driving around, listening to KFWV News 98.
Big time.
Eating chicken breast and
Kiss FM, Rick Dees?
No, I stayed on AM for just news. And then I started getting a little crazy in my car, very siloed. Everything I said was correct because there was no one to argue with me, and I became that, and I thought I can't do that. And then I was humming the news jingle to KFWV News 98, and I thought, oh my God, I'm becoming a weirdo. I was like distilled water, chicken breasts, and baked potatoes in my car in a cooler, going from house to house. I'm like, I've become just a strange dude. I need people.
Yeah, mine was hard-boiled eggs in a Tupperware.
I wouldn't do that for the smell.
Yeah. I thought maybe I had a better air freshener. I don't know.
There you go.
But
anyway, so then I found a gym on La Cienega. I went to a bunch of gyms. I did it based on where I lived, which was La Cienega and Fountain, and I went in kind of concentric rings.
Yeah.
Gym. And as you know, in that era, there were lots of them. And I would just see, A, if they would take me, and B, if I would be comfortable trying to build a client base there. And I found one, and the guy's name was Todd Tramp, and it was called
that name too?
Todd Tramp's Body Sculpting, right on the corner of La Cienega and Melrose, on the northeast corner there. And he grew, and the business grew, and it was just there was something great about location. It was great. The parking was easy, as you know, in LA. That's a big. That was a big
huge deal.
Yeah, if you have good parking, you're more positioned for success in LA, in my opinion. Like that can make or break a business, I think. But I started just hours on hours, and it was great. It was unbelievable, great vibe there, and he had. I think I was the 9th trainer in the first small building, and then he took over the lease in the place next door, and then we grew, and then it got a little too much, and it was also probably growing pains. It was time for me to go, and I went and did one in the house next to our house then at the time,
right,
and made it. I tried to just raise the bar, always make it better, and started training people out of there.
I didn't know you were with Sports Connection because that's where one of my.
But I wasn't an
you were
employee.
Like,
I was a member. I used to work out there with my buddies. And a guy asked me to train him.
Right. I get it. And you were like, looked like you're working out together, but you
correct.
That's a syndrome. You know, when you want to like some kind of a gym, like which I don't. Around here, you know, it's interesting. There's a lot of places in LA. You pay a fee or whatever, and they want that. They want the revenue. But here, I found.
But I wasn't paying anybody anything.
Yeah. No, I get it. But I'm saying, like, for a trainer to go in and like bring a client, like, hey, I'm going to bring you somebody. They're going to join your gym.
They run the gyms like WeWorks.
Yeah.
Right. Like you go in and you're paying them. You're using the space, and then you're out.
Yeah.
And they keep the space a certain way with the equipment and the amenities, and trainers can go in there and be independent contractors.
Yeah, and I found a place eventually, but it was like that was a challenge. I remember when I started working here, but I taught aerobics for Sports Connection. I was with the I started there, and this would have been you remember the movie
Actually,
Perfect.
I'll tell you what, if you showed me the outfit you were wearing, I could probably pinpoint the date.
Well, you see my Instagram, right? You seen the red tights and the.
No, but I would have guessed.
No, yeah. Well, that was it. That was on the. This will tell you how long I've been doing this.
Perfect
and how,
with Jamie Lee.
Yeah.
I used to train in my gym.
Yeah. She was. I did I was on a promotional aerobics dance team for Sports Connection.
Wow.
For the movie Perfect.
Wow.
And then I had just started at Sports Connection, but I started at Rocky's Racket World. I don't know if you knew where that was. It was deep in North
Valley?
Hollywood. Yeah.
I know exactly where it is.
Strathern and Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
I
know exactly where that.
Yeah, they used to
was.
They
played wall ball in there.
Yeah. The racquetball scenes from Splash were done in Rockies.
Yeah.
If you remember that movie. And they did a lot of filming in there. And that was one of those great big gyms in the 80s where you had racquetball courts, basketball courts, 4-strength rooms, aerobics rooms all over the place. When the lease wasn't that expensive, and it became an office building eventually.
Well,
but that's where I started.
But that's also partially why I left, because the leases became it's just prohibitive.
Yeah.
And I begged the other guy, who was training with me, a kid named Brad Siskin, love him. I begged him to come here with me. And I said, the way the leases are set up nowadays, it's just not conducive to our business. I'm not saying they don't want us here or they don't want our kind here. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that commercial real estate here is not set up for one-on-one service business unless you're charging something crazy or running people through in 15, 20, 30-minute time blocks so you can double, triple, quadruple.
Just the volume, get that volume.
You can't do hour workouts, hour blocks with people and charge something that the people would pay and have it be enough to cover your rent and a living. You just can't.
Right.
He goes, I'm going to make a go of it. I'm going to do my own gym. I said, dude, I wish you luck, but I'm telling you, I give it 2 years.
Right.
And don't say that. I go, no. I'm trying to be an naysayer. I'm trying to tell you I love you and I want you to come with me and let's go do something special in Nashville where it's just more conducive to this type of business.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And I look at him and I go, I mean, he's making it work for now because he's working, he works his ass off.
Yeah.
But to your point, back in the day, you could get a space and do a cool gym and not be hamstrung by your rent.
Yeah.
Now that's just not it.
Well, I want to people tuning into this. You're going to be people in our era and people that are going to be a lot younger than us. And I think it's real important to know that, like you and me, I mean, we're talking about definitely over 80 years of training here between us.
I'm at 35 right now.
Okay, you're 35. Okay, so we'll say we're at 77 then.
Okay.
Because this is my 42nd year.
Okay.
That aerobics dance team when I started it that year was 80
Were you
August of
training
83.
people then, or was that you're doing aerobics classes?
I was a group
X.
Group X,
Okay.
group at big time, and then I went to Sports Connection, and I was that guy that would do 2, 3, 4 classes a day.
Yeah.
And my first, you'll be able to relate to this. My first personal training session, there was an actor. The guy's name was Howard, and I can't remember his last name, but he was a great guy. He took all my classes, and he was
a wardrobe guy.
No, he was an actor. He was an actor. He'd been around an actor for years, and he'd run he ran a picture framing business as well. But he would take my classes all the time, and you remember the name Reuben Cannon?
Yep.
Reuben Cannon would give my friend Howard, guarantee him enough work every year that he could get his insurance.
Yes, I know that game very well.
Yeah. So when he took my class, he pulled me aside one day. We became really good friends, but he pulled me aside one day and he said, Robert, he says, look, Reuben and his wife, they're going to have a baby, and I want to give them a gift. And I want to buy them 10 private sessions with you in their home. And at the time, this is 1986, maybe, 85 or 86. I was like, I didn't think a thing of it. I thought, well, I'm just going to do aerobics class in the house. But then it was like that was kind of the onset of personal training. And then I went back to the group classes, and then I really started hitting personal training in like 89 because I stopped group classes. But that's
Here's a question: Did you have him pay up front for those?
Well, he paid me because it was a gift.
I have a weird thing with that. I always go, no problem. If you want me to print you up something, I will, and I'll give it to you. You give it to them, and when they do them, I'll let you know, and then you pay for it. Because I didn't want to be beholden to it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
No, I think
it was a control thing. I'm like, because then if they call and they say, we want to do 8 o'clock, and I go, I can't. I can do 9.
Yeah.
And then that pisses him off.
Yeah.
Then he's coming at me this way. That's how I would always be able to manipulate the schedule in a positive way to accommodate the most people.
Yeah. At the time, I just did it. I can't. I eventually. I mean, now I have one client that I still have that I bill at the end of the month. Everything's prepay for me. I want the commitment.
I'm the other way around.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
everything's.
I just think I just always say, well, with a client, they commit with their wallet at the end of the day, and if they pay for it, they're going to show up. So
yeah. See, to me, the demographic that was coming to me and is now coming to me here, that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll pay, and
so
that's not a lock. The lock to me is when they walk in.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: so you're training at this gym on La Cienega. What got you? Because you've got a great clientele, athletes, celebrities. What was the thing that got you over into that? What was the moment or the time or the event or whatever? Like who did you train that got you into well, now everybody wants to train with you to get in shape for a movie?
I don't know that happens like that. That's a funny, that's kind of an LA question, right? I mean, I can remember the first celebrity I had. I can remember the first athlete. But the funny thing is that doesn't necessarily, it's not like one actor trains with you and then every other actor comes to you.
Right.
And it's not like you train somebody on one show and then the whole cast is yours.
Yeah.
Or that you go on a movie with somebody and then everybody from the have been my experience. I'm
Right.
sure that happens. Maybe there's a rub off of one, or maybe someone comes and they have a friend who's also an actor and then that one comes, but it's not a guarantee. That was never like that for me. To me, it was the people in the inner circle, the trusted voices. If you knew them, they were more likely to tell the celebrity or the athlete, you should go to this guy.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like the actor tells their actor friend to come to you.
Right.
That happens on occasion, but that wasn't the rule of thumb for me. It was more like you're training an agent and they send you a client. You're training a manager. You're training, or you're friends with somebody who's a personal assistant to somebody, and they are in a conversation with their boss, or they overhear the boss, and they say to the boss, "Hey, I know this one guy is great," and then they end up being the conduit. So
Right. I just think it's like, like our business is hard. I mean, it's competitive, and it should be, because I mean, I think that people that do what you and I do.
that's the second time you said that, competitive. I look at it like this: competition's at the bottom, collaboration's at the top.
Okay.
So when you're at the top, I'm sending people to anyone and everyone I can. If I can't accommodate someone, or I can't make the time work, or I'm geographically undesirable.
Excuse me.
Or if I'm or if I'm geographically undesirable, I'm going to say, I'm not going to try to make that person drive to me. I'm going to say, hey, if this doesn't work, I know somebody who's there, who's trusted and who's good. And I had people in different states, in different countries.
Right.
I have a lady right now just DM me about, do you have anybody in Austin for training? And I said, what kind of training are you looking for? Because I don't want to waste her time. And so I would send them. I have no problem referring to somebody else based on the thing we talked about earlier. There's so many people in the world.
Yeah.
And it's all going to come around at some point. Stop trying to hold everything. Like, you're going to kill yourself trying to hold on to everything.
Right.
Open up.
Yeah. That's, and for you and for me, that works. But there's a lot of young people out there that are, I mean, that want to get into this business.
Focus on the wrong thing. Focus on the business. Focus on being an unbelievable trainer. Focus on staying on top of your field. I listened to a vaccine podcast today. I'm trying to learn everything. I'm trying to learn everything. Period.
100%.
Paragraph. I'm trying to learn everything about health and wellness. Earlier this morning, I was listening to something else. What was I listening to? About a guy who was undercover, and you're hearing about that and his training to blend in, but how he had to stay fit and how he had to keep his firearm skills sharp, even though, and like, I think trainers should be learning about as much, starting in the beginning, start in your strength, your cardiovascular work, mobility, stability, and come outside. And you should learn about CrossFit, and you should learn about yoga, and you should learn about Pilates, and you should learn about different Group X models, and you should know brands, and you should know different. Somebody says, "Hey, I want to get a piece of equipment for the gym." Don't just say a treadmill. Say this kind of treadmill. I have a guy. Then be that helpful to them. Be that extended arm to them. That's, to me, how you grow your business.
Right. Well, that's true. But at the end of the day, it's still what you're doing. Like I'll say, like, look, the more I know, the more I don't know. 100%. I'm always studying.
I agree.
I listen to shit all the time. I mean, I've been doing this 42 years. I don't know everything. The people out there that think they know everything.
And stuff's changing.
Stuff's changing all the time. That's why somebody one day will, do you think it's important to keep your certifications current? I'm like, well, hell yeah. I hope my doctor's certifications are current because I want them to know what the fuck they're doing.
Correct.
But, I dropped one. Oh, there it goes.
Wide open now. Here it comes, Terry.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, but at the end of the day, I mean, it is. I mean, you word it how you want, but it's competition, because what you're doing is you're taking yourself to the top echelon, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm saying.
But I'm
with
competing
people
against me.
Right.
I'm not competing against you. I go,
no, hell no.
If I know now, I know you told me what area you're in. If I know what area you're in. If I have somebody say, if they say 3 times, sorry, traffic. I come by from this, and I know it's your area.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, do you know this guy? He's got a spot over there. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe split it up. Maybe go 2 days a week to him, 1 day. To me.
Yeah.
I'll offer that.
Yeah.
Because I want them to adhere to their fitness plan more than I want them to come to me.
Right.
Ultimately, there are enough people, and I see 5 people a day here. That's my rule. That's my rule with my wife now. So I get my workouts in, I can do my work, and I can still do school pickup, and I can still do after school sports. So I'm present as a father in that way.
Well, this is a good time to ask us. I want to get your take on this. We talked a little bit about this on the phone, but we are in what I think a lot of trainers and practitioners in our field that do what they do, and you see a lot in the media right now, especially with social media and Instagram. It's a narcissistic industry to a certain point. For me, here, my take on it is like, this is not about me. It's about how I can help everybody else. What do you think about that? I think I know what you're going to say. Or
it's funny. I had a guy today, NFL guy, who was training with me, and he grabbed me, goes, "Fuck, dude." It's a quote, so it's not.
Yeah.
Right. He goes, "Fuck, dude. Why don't you ever show that? You're jacked." And I go, "It's not about my body. It's about yours." And he goes,
"Dude."
And he goes, "Yeah, but it doesn't hurt. Like, you wear short sleeves." I go, "First of all, low body fat, so I get cold easily." And he bursts out laughing.
Yeah.
And then I said, also, like, I sweat 6, 7, 8 times a day. The last thing I need to do is grab something for you. My arm rubs against that, and there's sweat. Like, I just don't need to be doing that.
It's a hygiene thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep it all in, and
man,
that's just my thing.
That is so. Let me see, because that is so spot on to my philosophy on that. I've never a hoodie, cargos, and the whole thing.
Yeah, but you were in the red tights.
Well, no.
So,
You didn't let me finish, man. No, the red tights.
So there was an era for you.
No, the red tights, the leg warmers.
You've evolved.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago, and that was a ripped white tank top back then too. Just sporting that.
I probably have 5 pictures over the course of my life shirtless.
Right.
I posted one once. Literally, it was like in a tiny little. It was a gag actually at the time. Bathing suit, and my wife. When I came home, my wife goes, "What was that about?" I said it was a goof.
Yeah. But that's my point, and I'm the same way. It's sort of like, it's not about me. So I'm when you come to see me, or when I'm talking to you, I'm on a consultation with you or whatever. I'm here for you, and it doesn't make a difference. You definitely want to walk the walk. But I don't ever you see it now, and I will admit it, because once I got Medicare, I was like, well, now people need to know that that's possible, because I'm from mediocre genetics at best. If I didn't live the lifestyle I live, I wouldn't even be sitting here. So I'll show glimpses of that, but most of the time it's the cargos and the hoodie, and like I said, it's about me. It's what I can do for you.
So it's funny. When I was in LA, and any of the trainers who worked at my gym with me, they'll tell you that I said this will probably roll their eyes. I used to tell them long sleeve, long shirts, and have decent sneakers. Don't have some rundown, garbagey shoes.
Oh, shoes are everything, man.
I think so too, but I know I also have a shoe thing, and so I'm not going to burden you with that. But I would just tell them, you got to look professional. If you walk into a top hotel and the guy behind the reception desk is wearing a t-shirt, you'd be like, what is going on here? I'm paying this much money. I thought this was a nice hotel. I want this to be this to be the Four Seasons Ritz-Carlton Mandarin of gyms. That's what I'm trying to do. That may not be for everybody, no problem. Right. Dress how you want to dress.
Right.
But in LA, I was a stickler on that. And when I got out here, I thought, I'm going to make some changes. I used to always wear a collared shirt too. I think I used to say that the professional in the field should be in a collared shirt. That was my take then. I'm allowed to evolve and change or devolve. And I don't do that anymore. But I do wear long sleeves, but I don't also put that on the other trainers at my gym here in Nashville. Wear what you want.
Well, it is. Because other people that do or try to do what we do, it's all about them. There's this like show business kind of thing.
I don't know. Maybe it's an age thing. I don't care.
Yeah. I'm saying
I used to care, but I used to care. I used to care because I thought it was all a reflection on me. That's probably the truest thing. And I wanted the gym to have the reputation of the trainers there, meaning me and the one other person who trained with me, always looked a certain way, walked the line, right, towed the line. That's how we were.
Yeah.
When I got here, I thought, I'm not trying to have this other guy become like Gunnar 2.0. That's not what I'm trying to do. And I also don't think he wants that. And he's also, the guy who trains with me now is a guy named Colin Shane. He's a terrific kid. I'm super, super lucky to have him here. I'm not, he wears t-shirt and baseball hat every day. I would, if my trainer in LA had done that, I would go, dude, what are you doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Right.
This is a company picnic. I mean, I literally would have been shocked, but I don't do that here because I'm not trying to control him. I'm not worried about the branding of the gym. To me, I'm me, he's him.
Yeah.
Let it ride. We're not a package deal like we were in LA.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Right. Because if I tried
to
have him, he would feel strange and he would probably, it would be noticeable that wasn't his thing. So I'm not putting that on him. And now everybody just do your thing.
See, and personally for me, I hate collared shirts. I just don't like it. It just reminds me of, it just reeks of like fraternity days or something. I don't know.
Mine was a three button collar, sometimes mostly long sleeves, or I'd put that over a long sleeve t-shirt just because I'm still covered up.
Button at the top.
I did, yeah. Oh my God, my guys used to, when I worked, my NBA guys used to kill me about that. But all right, that's my, at least that's my look. At least it's predictable.
Yeah. No, I think it's
something. Wait, I don't want to say it's predictable. At least it's something that you can rely on. And in a city like LA, when there is so much transience, there are so many things that are there one day, gone the next.
Right.
I'm going to always be here. I'm going to look like this. You can count on the temperature of the gym being this, the music volume being this, the cleanliness being that, me looking a certain way.
Right.
That's just that.
Well, one of the greatest, I learned so much from Dr. Phil with working with him. And
who's that again?
Dr. Phil McGraw.
Phil.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can Google him. You'll see who he is. But anyway, but I learned from him.
Let me catch that name you just dropped.
Yeah. Oh God.
There you go.
Come on. You knew it was coming. Shit.
Okay.
Man,
it's gonna be.
Look. I'm here because of. I'm sitting here at this level.
I mentioned a deceased chiropractor who referred clients to me, who spent his life purposefully living in obscurity, and you just named it. I see how it's
okay. Here. Okay, let me rephrase that then, Gunnar, for you, for you only. But okay, a very prominent psychologist.
Okay. Dr. Seuss, you said?
Yeah, right. Talked about image.
Yeah.
An image. And it's like, listen, you have an image. You want to secure an image and don't ever break character. And this is what I'm saying. When I dress,
this guy is on. He's right. Whoever he is, he's 100%.
But like the way I've always just dressed like I dress.
Yeah, me too.
And like I mean, I used to wear the wrap around my waist. I finally got rid of that. The skirt is what it became well known from my wife and a good friend of ours, Linda, who's another great person that helped me get started here. But man, it's like you got to be who you are. You got to be authentic, and there's just a lot of authenticity in our industry.
So one thing I would say about that I'm not 100% with is never break character, because to me, it's not a character. This is me. I just had dinner with my daughter when I went back to Duke the other day, and met her boyfriend, and she said to me after, "Dad, thanks for being so nice to him." And I just wrote to her, "I'm always just me." Because I'm not an actor.
Right.
I can't go into the character of the, crotchety old father.
Right.
What are your intentions with my daughter? That's not me.
No.
He would have laughed at me. She would have gone, "Who are you?" and I would have felt like a fool. So I'm not in a character, so there's no chance of my breaking that character. One. Two, his point about image is 1,000% right. Think of the college deals and think of actors, right? When they sign endorsement deals, right? They grant name and likeness, but in college it's name, image, likeness. Same thing, right? NIL deals, name, image, likeness.
Yeah.
So that is your thing. That's the one thing you're trading on.
Right.
If you let that go to shit, people can't connect. They're going to see the guy with the button-up thing, and they're like, oh, I know that guy.
Yeah.
100%. They're going to see you,
Half
cargo
hoodie.
pant.
They know me.
And they're going to know you.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the way I like it.
But also, it's probably, I don't know about you, but for me, it's super easy packing my bag for the next day.
Yeah.
Right?
You ever see my laundry room?
I go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
My laundry room. My cargos are folded down. My under t-shirts are folded down, and then my half hoodies are all there.
Yep.
I got like 20 of them.
20 of everything. People.
But I do a lot of laundry too, so I like some of the same
I had a kid
things.
say to me, "What are you, the Fonz with like 10 leather coats and 10 white t-shirts?" Dated reference. Google it. But I'm the same way.
Yeah.
It makes it easier.
Well, I think, and the point I want to get, I want to get to some other stuff too. How long have we been at it, Trent? 30 minutes. Okay. All right. I think probably what we're going to do is this will be the end of part 1. And then,
I'm easy.
I think let's make this the end of part 1.
I was looking for the Chardonnay.
Yeah. Well, you didn't bring it
because you said Chardonnay.
No, wait, but hold on a second.
You said Chardonnay. I'm actually not ever looking for Chardonnay. Let's not take that out of context. You said Chardonnay.
Right. You said cocktails.
Correct.
And I was like, okay.
So I'm a grown up.
Yeah. Oh.
It's Friday afternoon.
Oh, dude.
What are we doing?
You don't have any problem with confidence, do you?
0.
Yeah, I know.
And what's great is,
yeah,
I'm not like the oversized guy dominating the room.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fire away in a room full of 6'5" dudes.
Right.
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm all for the fun.
Well, here's, that's another thing, I talk about a lot over the years, and it's a really big thing for me now. Always has been, probably because I was a heavy kid, but body image versus self-image and self-esteem. And it's like,
How fat were you?
Well, I was.
Did you have tits?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, same.
I could sit in my friends' kitchens, and everybody used to get a kick out of this, and I'd lean back, and I'd pull my shirt up, and I'd pull my boobs over, and I'd play with my belly fat. And everybody would laugh, and it was so fucking sad.
That's called masturbating, Robert.
No, well, no, it wasn't that.
Just
so we're clear
what you're talking about.
Oh, come on, man. I could have said something, but I refrained.
Why?
Why? Because
it's a podcast.
No, I know, but
it's not going on network television. What are you doing?
Anyway, I should have probably, because it would have been perfect timing. But anyway,
you want to redo?
No.
Trent, rewind that shit. Let's go again.
No, but anyway, yeah. So I was that kid.
Yeah, same.
And yeah. And
I was Weight Watchers when I was 10 years old.
Yeah, but
sitting in meetings in Houston, Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. Yeah.
Didn't that contribute to what you're doing today?
I wasn't obese, so I never want to paint that. But I was fat. I put a picture in my book, and I'm like, rolls and boobs, and it was that changes to me your outside voice. Mm-hmm. At least it did for me. Well, that changes that, because you're internalizing a lot of stuff when you're carrying the weight. And I can't speak for other people. I was internalizing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So your rhino skin starts to develop. Yeah. And you start to develop a strike first mentality. Mm-hmm. Whether that's confidence or that's based in, if that makes you fear based, then that's probably not good. But so you said your company. Yeah.
No, you had to overcome adversity. I'm so, at the time I wasn't, but I'm grateful for those days for me. I would not be where I am now.
But honestly, I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
No, I'm not going to wish it on anybody.
I'm going
to try to help somebody out of it. But listen, when we're talking about authenticity, there's so many people out there that coach weight loss. I've thousands of pounds, thousands of inches. I can't even count. I've helped so many people I don't even know. But the reason...
Did you, or did they help themselves?
I help them to help themselves.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always give the credit.
I'm a coach.
I always give the credit. They did the work.
I'm a coach. I'm a leader. I can guide you, but I can't fucking do the work for you.
Correct.
Yeah, I can't reach inside you and say, look, I can't do those push-ups at the table. We need to push that friggin' meal away. Yep, I can't get them up at 6 a.m. to do their cardio if they have to be to work at 8.
Right.
I can't do that for them. But what it does, and I didn't know that about you.
How great would that service be if you could? Because I would assume we're on the same page that you actually love working out, the act of working out itself. Do you? Because I love.
Oh, it feeds me. It's like
I love it.
Yeah, I can't live without it.
Anything I can do physical.
I worked out. I jumped. I went to Anytime Fitness for 30 minutes before I came down here.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be the same person sitting here.
Can we shovel this? Can we hack this? Can we carry this? I'll carry the bags. To me, it's just, I like the physical part of it, right?
Yeah.
What if someone could outsource their cardio to you? Mm-hmm. I'm going to hire you. to do 30 minutes of cardio a day for me 4 days a week. I'd be like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll do that for you.
What would be even better if you could say, listen, tonight I'm not going to be able to get 7 or 8 hours of sleep. Can I hire you to get 7 or 8 hours sleep for me?
Love it.
Because I'm going to get 4.
Love it.
And I'm like, I'd be all over. You and I would be a millionaire, gazillionaires.
Do you remember that board game Scruples years ago?
I know the name of it.
There was a board game. I remember played it with a couple buddies, and my dad was in town in LA, which was rare. He came and we were sitting there. I said, Dad, we're going to do this. We had a couple people coming over. So we started playing it. And one of the things was, would you give up? It's funny, I remember this was 30 plus years ago. Would you give up 50% of everything you have for a pill that allowed you to sleep 1 hour and be totally refreshed? And of course, we were all late 20s. We were like, yep, I'd do it right now. I'd do it right now. And my dad goes, no. And I looked at him, I go, why wouldn't you do that? Think of all the stuff you could do with that time. And he goes, because 50% of what I have is a lot more than 50% of what you have. And I was like, touche.
Yeah.
Valid.
But I think I want to just cover this before we, because there's some other questions I want to ask you. But I think that the fact that I always say, well, look, I've seen through the eyes of a fat kid. I know what it's like.
I dance with the devil.
Yeah. So somebody comes to me and they're, I wasn't 500 pounds. I wasn't 700 pounds. I've helped people in that range, but that's a whole nother ball game. But I know what they're going through. And I know, like, well, wait a minute, because there's so much mental stuff. Because I think, I've always said that people get heavy or people lose health optimization, not because they just say, okay, I want to just beat the shit out of myself and live a crappy life. It happens as a result of something much bigger in somebody's life. There's always a bigger issue that results in that. Food addiction at the end of the day. I had food addiction, but I was a pretty happy kid. I just loved to eat. That was my thing. But I was addicted to that feeling because I loved fast food. I loved pizza. You're talking about people listening from Elkhart, Indiana? Nikki D's Pizza, man. Nikki D's Pizza. I can taste it right now. It was amazing. And when I'd go to McDonald's, two quarter pounders, cheese, 2 fries, cherry pie. I'd only eat the crust and I'd get an orange drink. Just because I could.
That's a lot of calories, dude.
Yes. But but see, I didn't feel I was getting the treats at home, so that was my thing. But I eventually grew out of it. I can tell you the exact second probably I grew out of it was when I was sitting on the sidelines at a middle school dance and Ouch. Bob, the nice fat kid sitting over there, hey Bob, how you doing? Nobody wanted to dance with me. And I was like, bam, this is not how I want things to be. And it was never a diet. Diets are bullshit. They've always been.
Well, think about it though. Diet, for a lot of people, the word diet is another word for restricting.
Yeah, restriction will never work.
Correct, but it's not. That's not what diet means. Diet is what you take in.
Right.
All of it.
Yeah. It's a noun. It's not a verb.
Correct.
Yeah. So, but I mean, look, we'll get into some of this maybe. The diet industry. What is your take on the diet industry as a whole, as we know it?
Define the diet industry.
Well, the diet industry, like the commercial diet industry, where the one that's failed for the last 50 years.
You mean people selling the low-cal foods and that kind of stuff? Or are you
selling restriction or just like, okay, they name Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, all that. So we'll give them a little bit of airtime, but what's your take on that? Because again, people that are listening are going to want to know. I have to drive that point home that those things didn't work, and it all comes back to you. People have to know that.
But I don't think that they don't not work. Double negative alert. They're not an end all be all. I would say this. We used to have this written in the window of the gym. If it's not sustainable, it's not successful.
Right.
So if that works for you, if your Weight Watchers uses the blocks now, I think, or the little.
Oh, they got rid of the points?
Something like that. Whatever it is, the system, like, if you can live your life like that and that works for you, then you can't say it doesn't work, because then it works. I can't.
Right.
That's not going to fly.
But most people can't. I mean, at the end of the day, you need skills, you need tools, you need simple knowledge, you need the personal empowerment to take care of yourself. That's at the end of the day.
You
that's
need
what it is.
something that is a life companion. You need
Right.
something that travels well. You need something that can adjust to different wake up times. You need something that can adjust to different stress levels. You need something that fits in your day-to-day life, because if it doesn't, you're going to implode.
Right.
It's like you're turning the timer on for when it's going to fail. It might be 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, a year. Like, that's just tough. I look at that and I go, I can see the end of that program. I don't want to do it. It's one thing if you're prepping for something or peaking for a beach vacation, a prom, a reunion, a wedding, sure, whatever you want, by any means necessary kind of deal. But if you're looking for a lifestyle, and like you said, you have to learn, and that's not a bad thing. But I don't. Can't you just tell me what to do? I can, but if you don't understand it, when exactly what you need isn't there, you won't know how to pivot.
Right.
Like I work with a nutritionist in LA. He's a very close friend of mine too, Philip Golia. And I just look at menus differently now.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I shun anything, but I know what everything is gonna do. I know how it's all gonna make me feel. There are times when what it tastes like wins out over what I'm going to feel like, and I have it. And that applies to a cocktail.
Right.
That applies to a dessert.
Right.
That applies to too much of anything.
Well, you live your life.
I do.
You live your life.
But I don't know that other people understand when that's okay.
Well, but see, that's what I'm talking about. That weight control is a skill.
It is, but it's a skill, but it's a skill.
Set.
It's a skill that you can get by educating yourself.
Right.
And you have to kiss a few frogs. You have to learn certain approaches, try them, implement them, try them on yourself, be bold with your stick-to-itiveness.
Right.
And if it doesn't work, move on and go to something else.
Right. Right.
The people who do, and I joke with this about the people who go to my nutrition guy. Yeah, his stuff didn't really work for me. When did you do it?
Yeah.
Well, I did it last month. I go, no, you didn't. Oh, time. So we're fair. You did this, and then you had that crazy weekend, which was 3 blackout drunk nights, pizza, fries, whatever. Then you came back, and there were the 2 nights here where you went to those dinners out. And remember, you told me you had all this. You didn't do the plan. So if you're doing the plan 100%, it doesn't work, by all means, abandon it, go to another plan. But if you're not giving the plan a chance, you can't fault the plan. You got to take a look in the mirror.
Right. But to simplify it, it's like food is a skill. You have to learn food. And it's not hard to learn food.
You're learning a language.
Yeah, you're learning a language. Exactly. And it's like, look, that's just, at the end of the day, and that's what the diet industry doesn't do. They don't teach you anything. They have you count points or whatever. They don't teach you anything.
But they teach you.
Yeah, they don't need you. Right. Well, that's my point.
You're going to go,
you'll get it. Everybody listening, that's the point.
It's like people say about the medical industry. It's not health care.
Oh, we're getting to the next question.
It's sick
now.
care.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to give you...
Sick management.
Did you listen to Dr. Suzanne Humphries on Joe Rogan?
No. But I probably saw clips of her.
She was amazing, and kudos to Joe Rogan for having her on, and he mentioned how many times she was brave, and I agree with that. She flew in the face of a lot of things that are generally accepted, but one of the things she said was she got out of medical school and she realized she wasn't a surgeon. She goes, so I didn't have a skill like that. She goes, what I had was the ability to diagnose and then the ability to prescribe.
Right.
She goes, so I'm just prescribing medicine, but more treating symptoms than treating root cause.
Yeah.
And when she started deviating from that to take different approaches, that the medical industry pushed her back in line. And then also to maintain her AMA qualifications, you have to educate yourself with this, that all comes down the same pipe. So you're always staying in that lane. She says in her free time, she would go off on alternative stuff. And she learned so much more in different ways to treat. And based on, I'm paraphrasing her, but she said, her Hippocratic Oath said, you help these people by using whatever modality was out there that would improve their quality of life and improve their health. And she didn't feel like she was doing that. And that's when she took these deeper dives. I thought it was, I haven't read the book, in fairness, but what she was saying was so logical to me.
Yeah.
And I think the same with the food industry. You have to go down the path and see some of the things that were put out there 50s, 60s, 70s don't really apply anymore, or they've been debunked, and you have to stay current. You owe yourself that to stay current,
right,
so that what you do is proven out and is effective and going to work for you, because poor you, if you're following something that is ill-fated, you're the only one who loses.
Right, right.
The diet industry, they're going to win.
Right. Well, let's lead into this. GLP-1s, what's your take on that?
So, oh, wow.
This might be a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
This could be a three-parter, Trent. I don't know.
So here's the thing with that. It's a hormone. Mm-hmm. It's a peptide. Mm-hmm. It's a hormone.
GLP-1s, what's your take?
Look, GLP-1, you're dealing with hormones. Mm-hmm. It's a peptide. And anytime you are tinkering with hormones, foundational building blocks of the body,
right,
a lot of things can happen. Right. You can make a lot of changes, some good, some bad.
Right.
If you're not doing it under the care of, I don't want to say a physician, but someone who knows well what's going to happen. Right. You're playing with fire.
Right.
I'm not going to look. People can do what they want to do, mm-hmm. whether that's, creatine was always 5 milligrams a day. Now some people are taking like upwards of 10, 12, 15, 20 a day. And
creatine's making a big comeback in the social media. Yeah.
Huge. So people are taking so much more. Different if you're self-dosing with that.
Yeah.
The minute you start playing with that with peptides, I would say go with caution.
Right.
I've taken nothing. I'm natural for life.
Right.
So far, if at some point I don't feel like what I'm doing is working, I always take a look in the mirror. I used to joke about this, and I do the scan every day. Right. Mm-hmm. It's not a narcissism scan. It's more of like my own little health scan.
Absolutely.
And if something doesn't look or feel right, I go down the list. Is my training on point? Is my diet on point? Is my hydration on point? My nutrition, my supplementation, my rest and recovery, and my stress management.
Yeah.
It's always me.
Yeah.
So far, it's always pilot error.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't say, well, all those things are in line. I'm perfect on all those.
Right.
And nothing's changing. It's never been that. It's always, could do better. Mm-hmm. Right? The day I'm doing everything right for a couple weeks straight and nothing is changing, or I'm not liking what I see, I'll consider it.
Right.
Because I know sarcopenia is real. I've had people tell me, I know you need sometimes more than what's sold at Vitamin Shop. Like,
yeah.
But I'm not there yet.
Right.
So if somebody is on GLP-1 or they needed that to get them over, I'm also not going to, it's like the people who say, I'm going to do a 3-day fast before I start training with you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you say, you said exactly what I work from a model, what I call the big 4 of life: optimum exercise, optimum nutrition, proper rest, and stress management. That's part of all of our lives. That's why I wanted to have you in here, because I think of the different paths that we've taken, it all comes back to the center. It's like, that's what it's about. And that's, I do my scans too, man, because I am my product at the end of the day. Again, going back to image, I don't feel what I'm doing if I don't stay authentic, if I don't stay on my game.
But I look at my symptoms and I don't label those as my causes, right? People say, if I feel like you're kicking my heart rate down, mm-hmm. What's going on? Oh, you're going to have a heart attack? No, I'm short on sleep, and I probably try to fix it with too much caffeine. I'm a meathead at heart. Yeah. That's where it is. Like people, he has hypertension. Hypertension's a symptom. Mm-hmm. There's something causing it.
Yeah. What we do, sometimes we have sleep deprivation.
Totally.
Yeah. But you still.
I got a little brain fog today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're human.
What are you going to go to a doctor? No. Get your sleep on point. Clean up your diet. Make sure you're hydrated, and let's see how you feel in 72 hours.
Right. But GLP-1s, and this is all I'm going to say. It's like it is the new diet industry, because the diet industry has failed. So now GLP-1s they're working for people right now.
But they're going to work anyway.
Right.
But you got to look at, there's going to be a trade-off. There's no magic pill. Look, Mike Mancias, that's It's a hat. There's no magic pill, right?
Well, yeah, but how? I mean, what's the price you pay for the trade-off? That's the big question.
That's what I'm saying. So there's a magic pill. No, don't. Mike's hat is right.
Yeah.
There's no magic pill. There are magic pills, but you can see what the magic is.
Right.
And you can see there's a trade-off to that.
Yeah.
If you're willing to make that
Big trade-off.
For some,
yeah.
I know, look, you could make that claim about smoking and drinking too.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that? They just found that the oldest lady in the world is 122 years old. She drinks wine every day. She smokes a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can say, she's like, tell me again, what's so bad about smoking?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But not
or
for everybody.
Alcohol's going to kill you. Wow. Everybody I know that has lived to that age. My mother's best friend is just going to turn 102. She was always the one with the beer at Bridge Club.
Yeah.
And probably still is doing that. She's still cranking along.
So there are trade-offs.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not what you think, but I think a lot of times the devil's in the dose with the GLP-1. A lot of those people are doubling down. A lot of people I know on taking growth hormone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we couldn't all benefit from it once we get out of our formative years, but when you look at it and you get a little bit of good from it, and then you go, oh, I'm going to take a little more. No, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. That's where you're going to start running into some issues.
It's like I can have a cocktail feel really good, but don't have 5.
Don't have five nights a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't let all the wheels come off, buddy.
So GLP-1s, and then we have the Maha movement. What's your take on that?
I think everybody can get a little healthier.
Mm-hmm.
I can get a little healthier. I mean, I'm not going to pick anybody apart, but I know a lot of people who could do something better.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of balls to keep in the air.
But don't you think it's really cool that it's kind of now it's like stuff that you and I have been talking about for years, but
you hear it and you're like, a lot of it sounds, but that's also not fair to look at that. This is an industry I've been in forever. Of course, that stuff is like, it's like I'm reading a first grade book,
right?
But I being read aloud,
yes,
and I like that people are listening as opposed to poo-pooing it, and I like that some of it is starting at a very basic level,
mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have such a tough barrier to entry, right? Like, just add some steps. How about that?
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
add some steps. Get off fried food.
Yeah,
massive start.
Yeah, yeah. I did a episode that will probably air before this one. I think the first one I did, and I talked about, look, I mean, wouldn't it be great? We could change the world if everybody got more metabolically healthy, but that's not realistic. So what if we have a 20% improvement across the board? Wouldn't that change the world?
20% for everybody, or 20% of the people did it?
20% across the board for everybody. Just
massive.
Yeah, it'd be massive.
And there are some people that probably can improve 20%.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, some people are going to give you 150. Some people are going to give you nothing.
Yeah.
So, but I'm talking. That would change the world.
Massive. Massive change in the world.
So what I think, what the Maha movement does is it makes it mainstream now. It makes what people like you and I have been talking about for years. It makes it a little bit more like, wow. It gives it publicity in essence, or it gives it awareness. But at the end of the day, but I want to get this point, because at the end of the day, look, this is a behavioral issue. This takes collective behavioral change. We can, turn on your Instagram, and everybody, I'm not talking about your Instagram, I'm talking about my Instagram, I'm talking about everybody else's Instagram, and my Instagram too. I mean, you turn it on, and you can watch tips all day. Research. Somebody's going to spout some research. They're going to read some research behind their cubicle, and then they're going to sell you a supplement or a powder. But unless that's like leading the horse to water, but the horse not going to drink. We need a behavioral change, because all this information, what I call logistics, we can hear logistics all fucking day, but unless people are doing something, nothing changes. So the thing about the Maha movement, I think it just brings it all up into the limelight. It makes us aware. But it's like, man, if people don't grasp it, if it just becomes just kind of this information that's still out there, and I'm not embracing it and internalizing it and letting it make impact on my life, it's blowing smoke.
So, yeah. So a couple things. Do you think? One thing, I think, especially now, people are conditioned. If it's coming from the government,
mm-hmm.
you might get pushback, or you might get pushback from whichever side did not vote for that government, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if
they don't make it about the issue, they make it about the government.
If it's not bipartisan, then there's still a lot of people who are going to be left on the sidelines, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate because better health should be everyone's right,
100%.
and access to the knowledge that will help you get better health is absolutely your right, and you should have that, and you should be able to seek it out without being positioned or pigeonholed politically. Just because you heard it from somebody on one side of the aisle doesn't mean you're embracing all of those political views.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you're automatically a member of that party.
Right.
You're just trying to get some information to help you on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, you just want to enhance your life.
The other one is you get a lot of people who are doing what you said. They're opening Instagram and they're getting part of that study and they're getting this and they're getting, they become graduates or they have a degree from Instagram University. And I would argue that maybe that's not the highest academic institution in the world. I think so.
They've also gotten their information from Google University.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So you're walking around with people with these 2 degrees.
Google Encyclopedia.
Right. And look, I'm a big fan of social media, but I take it for what it is, and I think you can learn some things there. But I think if that's the cornerstone of your knowledge, that at some point in a discussion, you're probably going to come up short.
But see, what you and I talked about this before. It's sort of like, and that's fine. I mean, I think it's great. People got to make a living. You want to sell a supplement, if it's authentic, I'm good with that. A powder, whatever.
I want somebody to sell me it if it's good.
Yeah, 100%.
How else am I going to find out about it?
Right. Well, I've done videos about marketing. It's like, well, are you marketing to make me aware of something that's going to help me, or are you marketing to bullshit me? That's, if you're marketing to make me aware of something that I can really use, because maybe I probably wouldn't have found out about it otherwise. But what I'm seeing out there, man, and it's just, I don't have a problem with me because I get it. But the people out there that are really trying and do want information, they're seeing this and they say, well, wow, man, this is going to save my life. It's going to save my life. And it's not going to. And they get discouraged.
Yeah. Well,
and it's sort of like they don't know where to turn.
Because they've been teased for so long and they've been promised for so long. And it's Charlie Brown kicking the football, dated reference. But like, how many times is Lucy going to pull it away?
Yeah.
It's just like, stop doing it, buddy.
Or charge him 5 cents for something. You got to go way back with that.
Although I think that psychiatric help was probably worth exactly 5 cents.
But 5 cents back then was pretty good.
True.
But anyway, but the thing is, it just bothers me about our industry, because I covet our industry. You and I will be dead and gone someday, and there'll still be our industry.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, our spirits will always be alive. But what I'm saying is, I love this industry. I busted my ass for this industry, and I busted my ass to keep it authentic, because I've done great stuff in the media, and that's just, I've been blessed to do that. So have you. But we still go to work every day, and we work in the trenches.
Is it work?
Well,
I gotta say this.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean,
I love what I do.
You know what I'm saying.
I love what I do.
Yeah.
I have zero complaints.
Yeah.
My hardest, longest days in LA or here, getting the gym going, arm wrestling with the city, trying to follow all the codes and all the rules and not squash my dream or
right.
Kill my enthusiasm in the process. It's all, I love it.
But dude, we're blessed. We're blessed
It's
to
a
do what we do.
mindset.
Yeah.
It's what you said about the work.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the work.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the work in the workout.
Yeah.
This is a hard pitch to people who come to you for exercise. Sorry, for people who come to you to train them because they have an end goal of XYZ physique or XYZ health marker shifting, right? If you can find a way to love what we're doing in the gym, the rest is all going to happen.
Yeah.
It's literally a byproduct of this. Find a way to focus on this.
Right.
And you're going to turn around and go, whoa,
Yeah.
I look like this. I just noticed I cranked out 3 18-hour days at work. 2 years ago, that would have killed me.
Yeah.
And I feel amazing, or whatever it is. Just keep doing the work and find a way to love the work and not go, oh my God, I got to do that again today.
Yeah, embrace your process. It's a process.
If you embrace the process,
Yeah.
this is just a home run.
Yeah. I mean, look, you look at other people our age. I mean, there's a lot of people that are in homes that are our age. It's part of the lifestyle. I'm so blessed to do what I do, and I wouldn't trade it. I mean, I probably, if I wanted to make more money, I probably could have been a hedge fund guy or something.
But I joke with trainers all the time. If you got into personal training specifically
for the money
to make a ton of money, you are as stupid as most people think meathead trainers are.
Yeah.
But get into it because
you love it.
More important, yes, you love it. A lot of people, well, I get into it, I really want to help people. Don't, Mother Teresa me. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Get into it because you love it.
Right.
You will help a lot of people. You can make a good living.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, your days are going to be extremely rewarding.
Right.
You're going to have some hurdles. The guy who I train with now, Colin Shane, who's at my gym with me, he's just unbelievable guy, great guy. He was so frustrated this morning with one of his online clients. But that frustration is the same frustration that someone working on an airline has, someone selling cars has.
Sure.
The guy delivering. Everybody has those little things. But he and I are sitting there. He's doing his training. He's preparing for a bodybuilding show. Yeah. I'm doing my workout. And in between, he's like, fucking lady. and I thought, but look at the environment.
Yeah.
We got music on.
Yeah, right.
It's 4:45 in the morning. We're both halfway through our workouts. I'll take that stress in this field, knowing that you're going to hit send and that problem's going to be gone, and you control the rest of your day over, I don't know. There are a lot of people who like their jobs, and I think that's really the way to go.
Right.
But don't get into this because you think you're going to retire and buy an island somewhere. Right. You're not.
Dude, we're living the dream. Come on.
I am 100% living it.
I'm.
But we craft it, and we don't mind working for it. But I put an asterisk by work because it's something we want to do.
Yeah.
It's not work in the sense of, oh my God, I got to go to work today.
No, for sure. And
there are times when I'm out at dinner with my wife and I'm looking around and everybody's having fun or doing this, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm getting up in 8 hours. I'm getting up in 7 hours.
Yeah, I've been there.
And so I would love to trade that, but at the same time, this is a business that goes early in the morning.
Yeah. It's part of the deal.
If I were a DJ, I'd be going to work at 10 at night.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Man, we could talk more. We probably will. But what's your final thoughts on today? What's your big words of wisdom out there for everybody?
Make the choice for the right reasons and stick to it. And
there you go.
Put the effort in and just know that it has as much chance of succeeding and thriving as other industries do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't abandon it.
Right.
And I mean, I know this is corny, but this is the spread the positive. Stay positive.
Yeah.
Keep the negativity at bay.
Yeah.
Some people in your life, you just got to keep them at arm's length. You don't have to be a dick, but just, I can only handle that in very small doses.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Yeah.
I can't let it in. I don't want it to color the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just stay the course.
Keep your vision. Do what you love.
Stay the course.
And
work hard, stay the course.
Well, yeah, wake up every day and do what you do.
Yep.
I mean, it's that simple. That's been your philosophy, right?
Every single day. I'm doing it tomorrow. It's Saturday morning. I got 3 clients. What about Easter?
I know.
Easter Sunday, bro.
I know. It's exactly.
People but what about Good Friday? Sorry, I got Easter. I can't give you both.
Well, that's the thing. And end it with this. It's like you and I, again, we're in the trenches every day. And I think that's great. That's what I've always, when I think of you, think of like, okay, celebrity trainers, whatever that is. It's like you work for a living.
But think about your trench. Yeah. Even the trench is like people. I used to work with a lot. I used to work with a lot. Yeah, it's an air conditioned room. Relax. But I used to work with a lot of athletes. I'm going to war today. I'm like, you're not going to war, and that's doing a disservice to our service people, men and women who are doing that. Like, you're not going to war. You are playing a game in an air conditioned arena. Relax.
Yeah. Right.
With somebody rubbing your calves before the game. Stop it.
Like, I think my massage guns. Man. It's a big client and hear its thing.
I think it's cool that you're intense about it, but make no mistake about it. You are not a soldier.
Yeah.
They are doing a lot harder work.
The soldiers are really in the trenches.
All day, hats off. Thank you all for your service. Hats off to all of them. We're not in the trend. I mean, I know what you're saying. It's a turn of phrase. I get it, but it's not like the word grind. We could eliminate that one. I'm grinding. Shut up. You're working. The people in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, grinding. Mm-hmm. This is easy street, comparatively speaking.
No, 100%. Well, you're doing what you love, so that's easy.
Correct. Right out of the gate, it's easy street mindset.
Yeah.
I agree.
If you had to do all over again, would you do anything different?
I try not. I always tell my wife, break off the rearview mirror. No, I can't think of a way to do it. I'm glad I am where I am.
Yeah.
With everything.
Yeah.
Family, kids, my brothers, my best friend, all that I'm super happy with. If I couldn't guarantee that I would net out where I am, then I wouldn't change anything, and I'll take all that.
Right.
Yeah, there's moments you wish I hadn't done that. I wish that hadn't happened, but it happens, and it's all part of the overall picture. So no, I don't change anything.
Me too. I'm just grateful to be here.
There's some shit I wish had gone smoother. Damn. Why did it?
You still got time.
Yeah, no, exactly. As long as you're breathing, it's still in the fight.
That's right.
You're still in the game. When my son applied to college, he got deferred at first, and I said, he goes, Dad, I just think all my friends already know where they're going. And I said, listen, man, you're in the game.
Yeah.
You're already in the game.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's not a game. No, it's a game. It's a game. They're holding you off. You're saying you want to get in. Then after the deferral, he was waitlisted. Then he goes, this is crazy, Dad. I could already know where I'm going. You can, but if that's where you want to go, sit tight.
Right.
You're in the game. Play the game to win.
Right.
You want to win? Play the game. Because as long as they haven't said no, you're still in the game.
Yeah.
Stay in the game.
100%. I had a client of mine that says that once. He says, you got to be in it to win it. You got to be you got to be in the game. You take yourself out of the game, it's over.
That's
game
right.
over.
That's right. It's game over.
Game over.
And that's on you.
Yeah. 100%.
If you can't take it anymore, step away. There's no shame in saying, I'm tapping out, I'm moving on.
Yeah, so people got goals out there, whether it's in our business or in weight loss or athletic achievement or whatever. Stay in the game. It's that simple.
I tell my kids when they play sports, the older ones, when they played, if you're signing up for this, because this is what my mom told me, if you're signing up for this, you're playing the whole season. There's no quitting.
Right.
At the end of the season, you can quit.
Oh, yeah.
I never want to play football again. I never want to play basketball again. Whatever it is, you can quit. But you cannot quit once you start.
Right.
You quit when it's over.
Stay the course. Finish what you started.
And then you can look at it objectively and say, I played that. I did not enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's the return that I got from that effort was not worth it to me. I will move on.
But that's how you learn.
Exactly.
Your parents, our parents then afforded us the opportunity to fail or to try things and didn't work. It doesn't work.
But you can't quit after the fourth game of the season.
100%.
I don't like it. My coach is a dick. I hate
because you haven't completed the experience.
Exactly.
It's sort of like in weight loss. Well, don't quit after 4 weeks because hey, maybe you just need to. Maybe your body's just not there yet. But
Correct.
It will be.
It will be for sure.
It will be. So
it's just math.
Stick with it. Yeah.
It's just math. At some point, it's going to happen for you.
Yeah.
By the way, you're not the exception.
Right.
I've met enough people to know it's not you. No disrespect. You're not the unicorn.
You're not the Lone Ranger.
Correct. Give it a minute. It's going to happen. It might not be now. It might not be in a week, but at some point it's going to tip, and then it's going to all work for you.
Hey, Gunnar Peterson in the studio today, man. Thank you for coming
You
on.
were cool for having me, and I appreciate that. I love what you guys do. Thank you very much. It's great.
Right. Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, everybody, thanks again for tuning in to the RR Live Wellness Unfiltered podcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. And don't forget the Revive and Sustain Wellness app. Go to www.reviveandsustain.com and download the app. 42 years of my experience at your fingertips. Till next time, everybody, in great health.